Today I'm going to sit here and build a power caulking gun just out of some simple tools laying around my shop. We have a new caulking gun, standard, and a couple of nuts, a die, hacksaw, ratchet, some lubricant, cordless drill, and a welder. I'm going to use these to sit here and make a cordless one, so I don't have to pump it with my hand, and because my hands aren't working as well as they used to anymore. So, and yeah, we'll go from there. So the first thing we got to do is I've got to sit here and take the nut off the plunger. I've already broken it free. Take the little plunger off. Then just pull the rod out and then let everything else pretty much come out of here. Sometimes easier said than done. The spring likes to stay in. We don't need that spring anymore. Okay, now it's all free. We don't need any of that. So, main thing is we need this rod right here. First thing we're going to do is we're going to cut off this little notch, or not notch, but the end, just so that it's nice and straight at the end. Just like that. And that's all we need to hack. Okay. And we get our tap, or not our tap, but our die. And this is an 8 by 1.25 tap. It works pretty dang good to get it on here and cut threads. Once you can get it started. And once you get it down to where it's nice and square, now take it out. I put it here in the vise. Hopefully you can see everything that's going on here. Okay. Take my drill. Started on there, and we just want to give it a little bit of lubricant. As I said, my hands don't work as well as they used to anymore. Well, I guess it would also help if I had a charged battery. Try that again. And now we got all our threads cut. Don't need that anymore. And we're down to our nuts here. Or I need a couple of them. There's two. No big deal there. And yes, this is going to be white warm. Now, the reason I use two instead of just one is because I just want to make sure that I have plenty of threads for the amount of pressure that you're going to possibly put on here. And if you put one on there, you might strip it. You probably get away with one. I just use two. And the big thing is to make sure that when they're butted together, that they still spin quite nicely. You don't want to lock them to where they bind the threads. You don't want to jam the nuts. I like to put this back on. Just so that I can protect the threads from when I start welding. We're not going to do a whole lot of welding. Mainly just tacking the nuts into place. And of course, you know, I get spray lubricant all over the place. Alright, so I want to make sure that I'm getting this right to the end. Pretty close. And like I said, don't jam them together, because then that's going to create a problem. Once you do that, get it all the way back against the end. Make sure your nuts are right where you want them. Alright, so kind of get a closer shot of that. So what we got going on there is we've got the two nuts. We got it right across the back plate in there. And now I'm going to sit here and get my welder going. If I can get my camera to stay where I want it. Stay put. All right. Now, all I'm going to do here is just tack the nuts together so that they stay right where I want them, and then I'm going to weld it to the back plate. The reason I don't move it forward so I have more room in here is because I don't want any slag or anything like that to compromise the threads. So try to keep everything nice and tight. And try not to get your tip to touch anything, because then that just kind of screws with you. Alright, now my nuts are tacked in place and everything. We're good. So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to tack the nuts to the back plate of the caulking gun. Without trying to burn too many holes through it. I am burning a little hot. Good enough. As you see, still moves quite freely. And kind of hard to see, but yeah, I blew a couple holes in it. And the nylon, leaked a little bit from the nut, but that's okay. It's not a big deal. Biggest deal is that it still spins fairly freely. I do need to make sure though that the nut on the end is just gonna hold it there just gently. Want the, that's hot. Sorry, got a little carried away with the camera. Really not used to doing this. I just snugged it up a little bit and I pushed the nylon back in with my fingers. Alright, so I gotta let this cool. I'll probably go and throw some water on it, which you're not supposed to do. You're supposed to just let it cool by itself, but this is my second one. First one I still use quite a bit. So, be right back. Okay, so I threw some water on it. No big deal. I don't know why I put it back here. So, the plunger still spins nice and freely. We want that to spin freely so that when we put this in there, that piston, or the plunger, will sit there and spin, or stay with this, stay with the caulking gun, not rotate, but the shaft will rotate. Kind of deal. Alright, so I'm going to put those together. And now this has got a very, very, very tiny slit in it. Because what I was using it for was to on something very intricate. It's need very little. Of course, it's probably dried up in the very end. Let's see, something I can throw this on I don't care about. Hey, look, garbage. Let's see. And voila. And it just comes out real nice and easy. Back it off. Stops. Give a little bit of pressure, and she squeezes. And works quite well. So for just under probably $5 in materials here, you get a really good caulking gun. You don't overspin it like that and about hit yourself. But yep, easy peasy. And with your leg out like that, you can freestand it. Well, I hope you all enjoyed. Hope this, you don't have to go out and spend a couple $100s on a power caulking gun. They probably work a little bit better than what this does, because you'd have your gun right up against here and not have your whole gun moving. A little easier to use. But in a pinch, this works great. It's cheap, easy to make. All right, thank you.